More students than ever reported safety threats at Colorado schools last year. A record-breaking 28,000 safe-to-tell reports were submitted, with the most reports stemming from school complaints. And that includes concerns about school policy, staff behavior, and building concerns. Some other top reports were tied to suicide threats and bullying. Nearly 95% of all reports last year were found to be valid. Now, that same report shows statewide 355 reports of discrimination last school year. One Fort Collins family took their allegations of racial discrimination all the way to the federal investigators. And as Denver 7's Colette Bordelon reports, changes are already being made within the school.
Liberty Common School in Fort Collins.
I chose the school for its academics and its character education.
Is where Stephanie Watson Lewis thought her sophomore son was safe.
I'm going to be honest, I feel like I've been robbed of some of the joy that parents have when their child is moving through high school.
What happened to her son during the 2023-24 school year is why she called this meeting.
He had been racially discriminated against at his school. So he went into the details of being called the N-word. They were calling my son monkey, and it just went on and on and on and on and on.
She filed a complaint with the Office for Civil Rights, which enforces federal civil rights. That investigation details the discrimination. How was it impacting your son?
He had anxiety, and here's a child that's very calm, and was just really struggling with having to deal with just all of this negativity centered around school.
The OCR investigation found a preponderance of evidence supporting the family's allegations, including that school staff are not trained how to respond to student-to-student racial harassment.
To see it black and white on paper, it was infuriating. It has brought so much pain to our family in the last 2 years.
In a statement, Liberty Common School says they do have annual harassment and discrimination training. As part of that OCR ruling, they had 30 days starting in mid-September to train their staff about harassment of students based on race.
Anything with race, religion, ethnicity.
Delia Mahaney is the Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Coordinator for Poudre School District, who's extended her support to Liberty Common, one of the district's charter schools, since the OCR filing.
I don't care if my phone rings 20 times. I don't care how many phone calls I get, report all the time, every time.
During her presentation, she says district-wide, staff is learning about response training as required by a 2023 Colorado law.
How do you recognize, and then how do you respond to those things in the moment?
I feel optimistic that our community is moving in a positive way. I plan not to go away. So if it happens to another kid, I'm going to be there.
Working to keep every student safe.
I've gotten great support from PSD, but when the system does fail you, where to go? It's a wrap.
In Fort Collins, Colette Bordelon, Denver 7.
And as part of the Office for Civil Rights ruling, Liberty Common School has to make a number of changes, including developing a standard form of keeping records for racial harassment and revising their policies and procedures to define a racially hostile environment.